Hey YouTube, Gordon Miller here. I'm sitting here in line at school waiting to pick up my son. They have a half day today. I'm dressed like an adult today. But anyway, it's interesting. I did the math finally, and teachers work a total at most 180 days, 8 hours a day if you're lucky, closer to 7 really, but that's about 1,440 hours. The average American working a regular salaried position or 40 hours hourly works at least 2,000 hours. And so teachers work about 72% of the amount of time that other people work. So, and I'm not disparaging teachers. I'm not saying they shouldn't get paid more. I'm just saying that when we talk about the amount of money teachers get paid, when they're talking about making 32, 36, 40,000 a year, understand that that's for about 70% of the work that other people do in the professions that they do. And I know they have some stuff they take home and they grade papers and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, I taught class at the master's and PhD level for 5 years. And so I know what that's like. I know what it's like to teach class. I know what kind of time it takes. And but what I wanted to talk about today was the type of hustle that it takes in terms of being able to look for opportunities. So people are getting out there and hustling, whether it's a side hustle where they're making money on the side, or they're doing a couple of different jobs and also trying to make money on the side. I was really surprised. Now, we taught all of our kids to how to make money early on. My oldest, when he was about 10, moved my stepmother's office and moved boxes for like 5 hours, made like $25. So he made like $5 an hour. And at that time, the kids were receiving something like $5, or they were getting $1 per year old they were. My son was 10, I believe. And so he would make $10 a week in allowance, but he made $25 in 5 hours one afternoon. And that really, the light bulb kind of really went off after that, because he realized that the harder he worked, the more money he made. He could sit back and collect a check in terms of in terms of the work that he was doing, just his chores around the house and things like that. Or he could get out there and actively work. And so, so it's kind of and I think I've done a video on this before. My middle son decided to, he was also about 10, and he decided to open up a snow cone stand. And so he, bought like $3 in materials and supplies and got some ice and charged a buck a cone and made $33 in like an hour. And so, and that was really nice. I mean, that taught them the fact that you can make what is essentially a lot of money pretty quickly if you work hard enough for it, and looking for ways to add value. It was a hot day. People wanted snow cones. Nobody else was making them. So he looked for an opportunity, and then he worked to execute. It's about execution. And so you have to be able to see the opportunity, and then you have to execute. So recently, the reason I tell this story, as I'm waiting for my youngest here, he's 13 now. And the other day, he began to buy up Xboxes that his friends had, because they're going to be getting upgrades for Christmas, or they got an upgrade for their birthday already, or something like that. And so they didn't need the old one, and they didn't want to go trade it in or anything else like that at GameStop and get $80 or whatever. So the opportunity is that he paid them $95, which was more than they would get in cash at GameStop. And it was an opportunity for him to then put it on Let Go and to advertise it and he began to target areas here and around the city where there was an interest. And machines were going for between $150 and $195, and he sold it. You know, he put it on there for $150, and finally got a guy to pay him $145. And so I was like, wow. So here he was able to take the relationships that he had with his friends, who they needed value. They didn't want the $80 they would get at GameStop. They were interested in a slightly better return. So he gave them well above that. He gave them, 10% or more above what they would have gotten, and 20%. And then he looked at where the market was. I did the market analysis, found out that he could probably sell it for $195 or $175, but the ones that were selling quickly sold in 24 hours for $150. And he got one guy that said okay to $150, and then we got him down to $145. But at the end of the day, he made $50 on a $95 acquisition. That's a 50% net margin in 24 hours. And so, you'll see Gary Vaynerchuk talking about finding deals at flea markets and yard sales and stuff like that and flipping it. So, everybody wonders why Gary's spending a Saturday going to yard sales and flea markets and stuff, because you just never know what you might find. But I was really proud of my son for looking at the opportunities that are out there and then determining what it is that where the opportunities were, and being able to do that analysis. You can't teach somebody that necessarily. They have to have that sort of sense innate in the way they see the world. And I'm very proud of him for that. All of my kids seem to have that ability to determine where the opportunities are. So I just wanted to say that I think that it's a lesson that a lot of people can learn, that if my 13-year-old can, make $50 in 24 hours by adding value to his friends, by giving them more, and adding value to the people he sold it to, which undercut everybody else online by about $40. And he added value to himself by instantly turning $100 into $150. Then, that's certainly a great opportunity. So I think more people need to understand what the real value of hustle is. And I think that, this ties in with the employee video that I was asked about the other day by Daniel, and about what am I looking for in certain employees. I'm actually looking for this kind of hustle. I'm looking for people that'll go out of their way to do what they see. They know they can see what needs to get done, and they get it done. And I think that's an important factor in that as well. So anyway, it wouldn't be one of my videos now without water, ice cold water in a red Solo cup, even driving around. So, but anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate it for everybody, and I look forward to posting more content. Thanks.